Have you ever felt like you just can't take it anymore? That crushing weight on your chest, that overwhelming desire to simply stop, drop everything, and give up? Maybe it's the marriage that's crumbling day by day, the child who walked away and wants nothing to do with you anymore, the disease that's consuming you and doctors have no answers, the job you lost and the bills that keep piling up, or that emotional pain so deep it feels like a piece of your soul was ripped out. You pray, you cry out, you fast, you beg for an answer, but it seems like God put you on mute. And then comes that terrible thought, that poisonous whisper. Is it worth continuing? Does God really care about me, or am I just another number lost in the universe? I know exactly how you feel. And you know why? Because the entire Bible is full of people who felt exactly that. Real flesh and blood people like you and me who were ready to give up, who cried until they had no more tears, who screamed to heaven, questioning where God was when everything collapsed. Elijah under the tree, asking to die. Job sitting in ashes, questioning why he was born. David fleeing in the desert, hiding in caves. All of them reached that breaking point where you are now. And it's exactly about this brutal moment, this rupture point, that we're going to talk about today. Because the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, was written specifically for people who were at the absolute limit. These weren't lukewarm Christians complaining about small problems. These were people being persecuted, tortured, watching their homes burn, their children torn from their arms, their friends brutally killed because of their faith in Jesus. They were physically, emotionally, and spiritually shattered. And in the middle of this hell, they thought, I can't take this race anymore. I can't take this weight anymore. I'm going to give up. And it's in this moment of total despair that comes one of the most powerful, most transformative messages in all of God's Word. Because look, when you're at this critical point of giving up on faith, it's not just about stopping going to church or stopping reading the Bible. That's just the surface. What really happens is much deeper and much more dangerous. It's about what happens to your soul 10 years from now. It's about waking up one day and realizing you've completely walked away from God, that you've lost that inexplicable peace that only He can give, that your decisions led you to places so dark you never imagined being. It's about watching your children grow up without the example of faith they desperately need and ending up repeating the same mistakes you made, only worse. It's about facing the brutal storms of life without the only anchor that truly sustains you and being dragged where you never wanted to go. It's about reaching the end of your life and having that devastating moment of realizing you traded eternity with God for a temporary moment of relief from a pain He could have transformed into victory. Because when we give up on God, we don't stay in a comfortable void, we fall. And the fall can be absolutely devastating. You become vulnerable to everything you were once protected from. You lose the discernment God gave you. You start making increasingly worse decisions because you no longer have the compass that guided you. And worst of all, you can drag people you love down with you in that fall. But now I'm going to tell you something that can completely change how you see what you're going through right now. What if I revealed to you that there's a way not just to survive this brutal pain you're feeling, but to transform it into something that strengthens you in a way you never imagined? What if I showed you through God's Word that the suffering you're going through is not a sign that God abandoned you, but exactly the opposite? It's the clearest proof that He loves you so deeply that He's willing to do whatever it takes to transform you into the hero of the story He planned for you. Let me introduce myself. My name is David. I'm the creator of the Christ Reset channel. Subscribe to the channel and comment with a heart with lightning emoji, love lightning, and I'll like and heart your comment because Christ's word of love penetrates our hearts and causes us a life reset.
Hebrews 12 starts with a direct order, no beating around the bush. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Did you catch what's written here? It's not about being perfect. It never was about that. It's about not letting the weight completely paralyze you. It's about continuing to run even when your feet are bleeding, even when you want with all your strength to stop and give up. And then comes the key that changes absolutely everything. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus. Not on your terrible circumstances, not on the pain consuming you, not on the problem that seems to have no solution. On Jesus, only on Jesus, because he also went through the most brutal moment anyone could go through, and he didn't give up. He looked at that cross, the greatest humiliation a human being could suffer, the greatest physical and emotional pain, total abandonment, and still he didn't give up. Why? For the joy that would come after the pain, for your salvation, for you who are reading this now. Now I want you to think deeply about this. If Jesus Christ, the Son of God, endured the cross for you, you who were bought with the most precious blood in the universe, can't you endure this trial you're going through now by fully trusting in Him? The text says something that should explode in our minds. Consider Him who endured such opposition from sinners so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. But now comes something absolutely revolutionary that most Christians don't understand, and this completely changes the game. The suffering you're going through is not always an attack from the enemy. Sometimes, and this will shake you, sometimes it's God Himself correcting you because He loves you in a way your mind can't comprehend. The text leaves no room for interpretation. The Lord disciplines the one He loves, and He chastens everyone He accepts as His son. Think with me now. If your child is walking toward a cliff, going down a path that will destroy their life, will you, as a loving father or mother, simply let them? Never. You'll do whatever it takes to pull them off that path, even if in the moment they hate you for it, even if they cry and scream that you don't love them. In the same way, God, who loves you infinitely more than any earthly father could love, allows you to go through trials, not to destroy you or make you suffer for pleasure, but to mold you, to transform you, to make you more like Jesus, to tear away from you what's killing you inside, but you're so attached to that you can't see it. Verse 11 is absolutely revolutionary and needs to be engraved in your heart. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Are you catching what's being said here? The brutal pain you're feeling today, this agony that seems endless, is tomorrow's deep and lasting peace. Today's intense suffering is tomorrow's unshakable maturity. What seems to be destroying you today is actually building you in a way you'll only understand later. And then comes the most practical and direct command in all of the Bible. Strengthen your feeble arms and weak knees. Do you see the beauty of this? God isn't asking you to pretend you're okay. He's not telling you to smile and act like nothing's happening. He acknowledges that you're absolutely exhausted, that your knees are shaking and weak. But He's giving you a direct command. Get up anyway. Continue anyway, walk anyway, not because you have strength, but because He will give you the strength you don't have. Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled, but rather healed. Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord, because here's something that goes beyond you. Your perseverance in this brutal moment isn't just about you. It's about all the people watching you. Your children who need to see that it's possible to continue when everything collapses. Your friends going through the same struggles. Your coworkers who need to see there's something real in this faith you profess. They need to see you're different, that you don't give up when things get tough because you have something they don't have. The chapter ends with an absolutely powerful comparison. The Israelites there on Mount Sinai were so afraid of God's presence they asked Him to stop speaking to them. They saw the fire, heard the thunder, felt the earth shake, and were terrified. But you and I here now have not come to a frightening physical mountain. We've come to something infinitely greater and better. We've come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem with its thousands of angels. We have come to Jesus, who made a new covenant, a covenant not of terror, but of grace, not of fear, but of absolute love, not of condemnation, but of total acceptance. And that's why Hebrews 12 closes with these words that should be tattooed on your soul. Let us be thankful, for we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken. Do you understand what this means? Everything around you may be collapsing now. Your job may disappear. Your health may fail. Your relationships may be completely destroyed. But God's kingdom cannot be shaken by anything in this universe. Jesus cannot be shaken. And if you're in Him, if you belong to Him, you also won't be shaken where it really matters, in your soul, in your eternity. Now I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine something with me. Imagine yourself a few years from now, maybe 5, maybe 10, looking back and seeing how God sustained you exactly in this brutal moment you're living right now. Imagine yourself being the living, pulsing testimony that God doesn't abandon His children. Imagine yourself being able to look into the eyes of someone thinking about giving up, someone in the same black hole where you are right now, and you being able to say with absolute authority, I know exactly what it's like. I walked through the valley of the shadow of death. I felt the pain you're feeling, but God held me. God carried me. God transformed me, and He will do the same for you. This is your story being written now. Not a fantasy story of someone who never suffered, but a real and powerful story of someone who suffered intensely and didn't give up. Of someone who ran the race to the end even with bleeding feet. Of someone who kept their eyes fixed on Jesus even when everything around was collapsing and burning. You are the hero of this story, but the power comes from Him. The love of Jesus is alive for all of us. He didn't bring you to this point to abandon you now. He's with you right now as you read this, sustaining you, transforming you, molding you. Lift your tired hands, strengthen your weak knees, keep running even when every step hurts. Because you're not alone in this race. Jesus is running with you, and He will never, ever let you go. And now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest difficulty making you think about giving up on faith right now? Have you ever noticed God correcting you out of love? What was that experience like? What helps you most to keep your eyes fixed on Jesus when everything is falling apart around you? Do you know someone thinking about giving up who urgently needs to see this video? Tag that person here in the comments and tell me which part of Hebrews 12 impacted your heart the most. Leave your answers down here in the comments. This is the Christ Reset channel. Did you leave your like, share with friends, subscribe to the channel? Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Don't forget to watch the previous video appearing on your screen.